Six.
4.
7.
You bored yet?
Nope. 8.
I just feel like we should be doing something important.
Jeff, the very fact that we are existing means that we are intrinsically doing something at all times.
I mean, you know, something more significant.
Like what? 9.
Well, okay, today's the day to vote. There's a bunch of legislation on the line that will decide how the state will finance its...
Do you really expect me to waste my time on voting on some lousy proposition? You know, I got better things to do.
Well, like what?
10.
I'm serious, though. Come on. If we went out to vote right now, what is it? We could reduce carbon emissions by 15%, I think, by 2022.
Jeff, don't tell me you actually think you can make a difference. One person casting his vote isn't going to affect the system in the slightest. And even if the legislation was passed, how would it make an impact? 15% isn't a lot. I went to college. If you got 15% on an exam, you would fail. Ipso facto, this bill fails.
You know, I guess I never looked at it from that perspective before.
That's why you got me here, little buddy.
5.
11.
6.
12. Oh, dang those slides are gifts.
Listen, I mean, we could do something even if we don't vote.
Like what? Now it's 12.
All right. Well, you said reducing carbon emissions by 15% would make an impact, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So what if we wrote to our congressman and urged him to put forth legislation that would really make a difference? Like ask him to pass laws that would protect public parks or the rivers better. Or how about this? A bill that forced automakers to have higher emission standards when it comes to the mileage of their cars.
Well, Jeffy, you still don't understand the complexities of our state and local governments.
Oh, all right. Marky, explain it to me, please.
Let's say I put in hours of time and effort to write a clear and cohesive letter to our local congressman.
Okay.
My time and effort. If I put an hour to write this thing, that's an hour I'll never get back. An hour that could have been spent doing something productive.
Like what?
13.
You were saying?
So I spend my valuable time writing this letter. What are the chances that the congressman's even going to read it? He'll probably just throw it in a pile somewhere and carry on in his usual political duties of kissing babies and lying to the public. 14.
But what if he does read it?
Okay, let's say he does read it. He's not going to go through all the trouble of establishing stricter environmental policies just because one person complained that the river was starting to turn black. Ipso facto, I should conserve my energy for more worthwhile activities.
Oh,
15.
pretty solid argument there, I guess.
I went to college.
8.
16.
Wait, something just occurred to me.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
17.
What if we got a bunch of people to write to their congressman? You know, if we got like 1 million people to rise up to their government and demand changes to current environmental policies, then political powers would have no choice but to respond.
That's completely idiotic. 18.
What are you talking about?
Must I spell this out for you again, Jeff?
All right, Mark, lay it out for me, please.
Even if the environment was somehow being altered by mankind's wastefulness, there was no way it could make a significant impact on humanity.
How do you figure that?
The environment is just too small to affect it.
I don't know. I mean, the environment's a pretty big thing, right?
Yes, but how big?
Big in Texas?
Look, the human population is over 6.7 million. What's the population of the environment? 1. There's only one environment.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Exactly. So your example of 1 million people being affected by environmental degradation is null and void. Ipso facto, it is impossible for one environment to affect 1 million people.
I guess that makes sense.
Remember, I went to college.
9.
19.
By the way, that's ipso facto.
What?
Every time you conclude an argument, you say ipso facto. It's supposed to be ipso facto. You're mispronouncing it.
I am not mispronouncing.
So what are you doing?
I am modifying.
How can you modify Latin?
Look, the world is constantly changing around us, and as the world changes, we must adapt to new habits and lifestyles. I have chosen to adapt by changing the phrase ipso facto to ipso facto.
Why would you need to change it though?
Because ipso facto sounds like an upset stomach reliever.
All right then. Glad we cleared that up.
Never question the intellect of a guy who went to college. 21.
No. You mean 20.
What?
You were at 19 last time. You should be at 20 now.
No. I get an extra point because I swatted a bee.
So,
So bees are worth extra points.
when did we agree on that rule?
We didn't. It's just a fact of the universe.
It makes no sense at all. Bees should be worth more points. In fact, they should be worth less points since bees are bigger than flies and they're easier to hit. Therefore, the level of difficulty decreases.
I can see how you would think that, but you're wrong again.
How so?
Swatting a bee doesn't give you an extra point because they are harder to hit, but because I'm performing a valuable service to my community.
Okay, you've lost me.
Let's say I didn't kill that bee.
Okay.
If I didn't kill that bee, it would have gone about its business, buzzing around, sipping nectar, and doing whatever else bees do.
Indeed.
Then one day a little girl who just happens to be allergic to bee stings is playing jump rope in her front yard.
Yeah.
The malicious bee sees the little girl
Uh-huh.
and decides to strike. The little girl is wounded and has to be rushed to emergency care if there is to be any hope of recovery.
Uh-huh.
Every day the pain rises and she thinks to herself, oh, if only someone had killed the evil bee before it killed me. So, I think granting myself one measly extra point is the least I deserve for my contributions in ensuring child safety.
How could you possibly come up with such a convoluted chain of events?
It's all part of the butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect.
Yes, you see, the butterfly effect is all part of the chaos theory, which states that any small action we may see as insignificant in the present could eventually lead to a massive, significant outcome in the future. Every action we perform has a direct effect on everything else around us. And it is not just our actions which affect our surroundings, but our refusal to act could also fundamentally alter the world in which we live.
You know, I couldn't help but notice some subliminal, subtle social commentary about our environment in your answer there.
22, what was that?
Nothing.
Jeff, are you still out there?
I'm on for a punch, hon.
What's that?
My girlfriend.
I didn't think you could get it,
What
girlfriend.
are you talking about? It's a good quote.
You always seem so inclusive to me.
Jeff, hurry up and come inside. We have to leave right now.
Why? What's the matter? What's going on?
There was an earthquake.
What?
We're asking everyone to evacuate the city as soon as possible.
Oh my God. Was anybody injured?
I didn't feel anything.
They're saying it measured 7.3. It broke the dam that was holding back the river at the outskirts of town.
Oh no. What? Was anybody killed?
86 people have died already, and even more are injured. Look, come inside. We'll pack up all our essentials. We have to leave.
Okay, I'll be right there.
You're not leaving 5 minutes, cropping.
Rocket manure. There was an earthquake.
How do I know it's not just a bunch of political propaganda being used to make me give money to the government?
86 people are dead.
Well, until I see some corpses, I refuse to believe it.
Unbelievable.
Wait a minute. Do you think we did that?
What, like we created the earthquake?
Well, yeah.
That's ridiculous. How could we have caused something so cataclysmic to occur when we haven't done anything?
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe by not doing anything to prevent something from happening, we actually caused it to happen. maybe we're just as much to blame as the corporations who pollute the rivers and the air, since we stand idly by and allow bad things to happen to the world around us.
There's no way that could happen.
You think so?
Of course. Remember, I went to college.
But did you graduate?
23.